Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
Well, he's a 15-time NBA All-Star, a philanthropist, and now Shaquille O'Neal is stepping into the infrastructure space. The NBA legend is joining Jacmel Infrastructure as a founding partner. Earlier today, Romaine spoke with Jorge Mora, co-managing partner at Jacmel Partners, and Shaq about why this new venture is personal.
Well, there's a tremendous need in the U.S. for better infrastructure. You see it in your roads, you see it in your airports, your train stations, and I want to help make that change. And, Jacmel is the partner that can help me do that. When I met Jorge and Nick, they approached me and, we kind of have the same values. I like to invest my time and money where it can make a difference in people's lives and have a positive impact on the community. So, I thought it was the right thing to do because I live in a town where we definitely need better infrastructure. So if I could, partner with a company like Jacmel, I'll do it every time.
And a lot of cities, of course, across the U.S., Shaquille, are in that same position. I mean, one of the deals that the infrastructure project had been involved in was, of course, the redesign and redevelopment, if you will, of LaGuardia Airport in New York. And Shaq, I mean, as somebody who spent, 19, 20 years in the NBA, I'm sure you've been to pretty much every airport in the United States and beyond. When you look at the infrastructure in the transportation space, what does it say to you?
Man, it says that, whoever has the contract is doing a great job. And I know the work that Jacmel does. And my hometown is Newark, and part of that airport has already been redone. I would definitely love to be involved in, the expansion of that one. But, as long as we have companies like Jacmel doing their thing and, bringing what they bring to the table, it's beautiful. Saw what they did with LaGuardia. It's definitely why I wanted to be their teammates. Every time I win a championship, it's because I have great teammates. One with Kobe, I'm winning in a broadcast with your best friend, Charles Barkley. So I want to also win a championship in the infrastructure space.
So, Jorge, I am curious that with regards to the projects going on through the infrastructure fund, I mentioned, of course, what went on at LaGuardia, also a big project at JFK, Hartsfield down in Atlanta. Is your focus going to primarily be in, the aviation space, or are you looking to do something more broadly?
We're going to be looking at other spaces. I mean, the transportation space in particular is one of our core focuses. And we also recently did an investment into the energy space. Unfortunately, we can't disclose it, but it was a large, almost $100 million investment. And then we're also going to look at digital. What we try to do is we try to pair the competencies that we have in-house with the different sectors we're investing in. In the digital space, we happen to have a senior advisor who has done an enormous amount of investing in digital for the last 25 years. In transportation, we happen to own a design engineering firm that has worked in close to 100 airports in the U.S. And so we try to stick to what we know, what we can bring some added value. And then by having Shaquille as one of our founding partners, we can really focus on the community engagement into those big projects. We mentioned LaGuardia a couple of times. If you've flown in or out of LaGuardia, you can see that there's all these local businesses that are in the terminal, restaurants, et cetera. And it also has the impact on the employment in the community. So our value add is that we're going to try to bring that organic and more natural connectivity that a group like Jacmel can bring to a project like that when partnering with large infrastructure investors, either strategic or financial.
Well, expand on that a little bit, because, I mean, as someone who goes through LaGuardia almost every other week, it's very obvious that there is an intent with that redesign to highlight local businesses. And I am curious as to what that conversation looks like, Jorge. You're talking with the airport authority, or are you talking with just the local government leaders? What is that conversation?
It's a combination of all of that, right? It's understanding which businesses in the local community we want to bring in, what investors from the local community we would like to group into our investment group to just tie to the community, to make sure that their needs are being listened to. So in any new project, for example, Newark has been talked about. It hasn't been announced yet. Hopefully it will be in the next few months or year. When that happens, having Shaquille as our partner, having the fact that he grew up there, I think will give an edge to any group that we work with in delivering that community and engaging with them properly.
Maybe, Shaquille, you can talk just a little bit about Newark and your connections there. Obviously, you were raised there, and you've been a big investor there long prior to this deal with Jacmel.
Yeah, when I met with Jorge and Nick, I told them I wanted to do business that's going to have positive impact on local community. Born and raised in Newark, flew in and out of the Newark airport many times, and would love to be a part of this project. That just goes with legacy. You have a kid who was a medium juvenile delinquent. Now he's partnered with a company like Jacmel, and we're redoing the airport. We're making the airport better. So this would be big if we could land that deal. But again, when I met with Nick and Jorge, I told them, I said, I want to have positive impact on local community. That's all we want to do. We want to help create jobs. Just whatever it does to make the community better, that's definitely something I want to be a part of.
Do you have any ambitions for having more deeper ownership in the sports world in terms of sports franchises?
Actually, no. I've always been I can remember when I was taking my business marketing class, professor gave me a book on the side. He said it was the Dummy's Guide of Starting Your Own Business. And my favorite chapter was joint ventureship, because I realized that in order to be a great leader, you have to have people that are smarter than you as teammates. So I applied basketball to business, and I was like, you know what? I need to get guys that are better in whatever space I'm trying to invest in than I am. Imagine me trying to run the five guys by myself. Imagine me, trying to run Reebok by myself. Imagine me trying to do this infrastructure by myself. So you have to get great teammates. I mentioned this early. I won championships with Kobe Bryant, D. Wade. I'm winning with Ernie, Kenny, and Chuck. So, when it comes to, finding great partners, Jorge and Nick are the best in this business, and we will definitely win.